Welcome to another deep dive. Today we're plunging into the really exciting, incredibly dynamic world of artificial intelligence.
Yeah, it's moving so fast.
It really is. But we're not just talking about the giants today. We're zeroing in on an early stage company, one that's actually pretty fascinating, Gaxos Labs. They operate as Gaxos.ai, and you'll find them on the Nasdaq, ticker GXAI.
Right, GXAI.
Our mission today is simple. Cut through the noise, the complexity, and just quickly, clearly understand what this company does, how it works, and, why it's starting to make some waves.
Okay.
It's a crowded space, so yeah. Okay, let's unpack this. Let's get right to the core.
Sounds good. And it's, I think, really important to understand these newer players.
I'm ready.
Because the AI landscape, like you said, it's shifting incredibly quickly. And getting a handle on these emerging companies, even when they're early stage, like Gaxos.ai, well, it gives us a much better sense of where things are actually heading.
Beyond just the big research labs, you mean?
Exactly. How is AI being commercialized? What are the actual applications? So yeah, for anyone trying to stay informed, figuring out who these key players are and what they're trying to do, it's valuable stuff.
So let's start right there. The fundamental question. What exactly is Gaxos.ai? What are they actually doing?
Okay, so Gaxos Labs, doing business as Gaxos.ai, is fundamentally an early stage AI company.
Right.
Their core thing is building and then actually launching AI applications. And they do this across a few different areas like gaming, health, and content creation.
Okay, gaming, health, content creation. Diverse.
Yeah. And they don't just build the apps. They also develop tools, SDKs, marketplaces, stuff for developers, and also for bigger companies, for enterprises.
And how do they plan to make money from all this?
Well, the aim seems pretty clear. Monetize through product subscriptions, developer tools, licensing the tech they build, and doing bigger enterprise integration deals.
Gotcha. So you mentioned they're a launcher of AI applications. That sounds like a key distinction, doesn't it? They're not just a research lab somewhere.
Exactly. That's a really important point. They're actively building and deploying. They seem focused on taking AI concepts and turning them into practical, usable products. Things people or other businesses can actually use today.
Bridging that gap between, say, the theory and the real world.
Precisely. And that multi-vertical approach you picked up on, gaming, health, content, it's interesting. It's not just, spreading the risk. It could be about creating this sort of, well, maybe a flywheel effect.
How so?
Well, imagine, maybe an AI model they refine for making game characters act more real. Perhaps that provides some unexpected insight for making, say, an AI health companion more empathetic.
Ah, interesting. Cross-pollination between the fields.
Yeah, exactly. That kind of learning across different areas could be where they really make their mark. It's definitely a strategy to keep an eye on.
That's a fascinating way to look at it. Okay, so speaking of those markets, they have these key focus areas. Let's break down the specific product lines, just simply so we know what they're actually building.
Absolutely. Let's simplify. So first up, you've got Gaxos Gaming.
Okay.
This is basically about providing AI tools and SDKs, software development kits, for game developers.
Right. Tools for the creators.
Exactly. And these tools can help with all sorts of things, making non-player characters, NPCs, act smarter, more realistic, adding monetization features into games, maybe even helping create in-game assets like textures or models using AI.
That sounds incredibly useful for developers.
It really could be. And they mentioned integrating with major platforms like Unity.
Oh, wow. Unity is huge.
It's massive. So integrating there means their tools are suddenly available to, well, countless developers. That makes it a potential big deal. You can almost see an indie developer going, phew, okay, AI can help with this bit.
Yeah, it definitely streamlines things, frees them up. Okay, so that's Gaxos Gaming. Then there's Gaxos Health. Sounds like a completely different direction.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Gaxos Health focuses on consumer wellness and health AI apps.
So apps for regular people.
Primarily, yes. Mobile apps, related services, all aimed at helping individuals with their health and well-being. Think maybe an AI coach for fitness routines tailored just for you.
Or maybe something analyzing sleep.
Exactly. Tools analyzing sleep patterns, suggesting wellness tips. It's a more direct link between AI and just, well, daily life and personal health.
Okay, so that's more direct to consumer.
Seems like it, yeah. Integrating AI into personal health management.
Now, digging a bit deeper, there's one product that seems to be getting quite a bit of attention recently, ArtGen.
Ah, yes. ArtGen.
What's the story there? Why is this one perhaps standing out for Gaxos.ai?
Well, ArtGen is definitely significant for them. It's their relatively new AI image and video creation platform.
Okay, image and video generation, like Mid-Journey or Stable Diffusion.
In that space, yes. The core idea is powerful. Letting creators generate images, generate videos almost instantly. It also does upscaling, taking lower res stuff and making it high res with good detail.
And tools for prompting, I assume.
Yeah, sophisticated prompt tools to help guide the AI precisely. And what's really key here, business-wise, is it operates on a subscription model.
Ah, recurring revenue again.
Exactly. Crucial for predictable income. And another critical piece, it integrates tech from major partners. They mentioned Google and Stability AI.
So they're using foundational models from the big players.
It appears so, leveraging some of the leading models out there rather than building everything absolutely from scratch.
That makes sense for speed, I guess, but does relying on external models, create dependencies or challenges for them finding their own unique spot?
That's a really sharp question. I mean, yes, it lets them focus maybe more on the product, the user experience, rather than just a deep underlying research.
Right.
But it also points to this broader trend in AI, doesn't it? For a lot of companies now, maybe the real value add isn't just building the base model, but expertly orchestrating them, applying them to solve specific problems.
So Gaxos is like an AI orchestrator in that sense.
That's one way to think about it, yeah. And it's a key trend. The challenge, like you hinted, is managing those partnerships and making sure they still offer something unique on top.
And this push into art gen, it's part of a specific strategy.
Seems so. The sources mention it's part of their push into high-margin recurring revenue products. That's a pretty important signal about their business direction.
High margin recurring. Got it.
And beyond these specific apps, they also talk about a broader platform and ecosystem strategy.
What does that involve?
Things like getting listed on the AWS Marketplace.
Ah, Amazon's cloud marketplace.
Exactly. Think of it as getting their tools into this huge, trusted online store where businesses are already shopping for cloud services. It's a direct pipeline to potentially thousands of enterprise customers.
So scaling up distribution beyond just their own website or direct sale.
Precisely.
Yeah.
It's how they get their tech out there more broadly.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so we've got a clear picture of the tools, the verticals, but the really big question for any early stage company.
Yeah.
How do they actually make money? Let's break down the revenue streams.
Right, the bottom line. They seem to have a few clear categories, which suggests, a diversified approach.
Okay, what's the first one?
First, subscriptions. We touched on this with ArtGen.
Right.
This covers those content tools, but also usage fees for their developer SDKs. Maybe premium features on their platforms. Think like a monthly charge for access to their AI tools.
Okay, so direct recurring revenue from users and developers. What else?
Next up is licensing and enterprise deals.
Bigger B2B stuff.
Yeah. This could be integrating their AI into products from larger companies or even white labeling their tech.
White labeling. So another company sells Gaxos' AI under their own brand.
Exactly. It lets them secure potentially larger business-to-business partnerships, get their tech used at scale through others.
Interesting. And the third category?
That would be services and app monetization. This seems particularly relevant for their gaming and health areas.
Like in-app purchases.
Could be that, yeah. Standard in-app purchases in their own consumer apps, or maybe providing monetization tools for developers who are using their gaming SDKs, helping them make money, perhaps taking a cut.
So it really is a mix then. Subscriptions, bigger B2B licensing, and then more traditional app revenue models.
Yeah, it looks like they're trying to, cast a fairly wide net for revenue.
Which seems pretty smart for a company starting out in such a competitive field.
Absolutely. Not putting all their eggs in one basket. It gives them multiple routes to potentially grow and become sustainable.
All right, this has been super clear on what they do and their business model. So let's bring it back to the listener. What does all this mean for someone just trying to understand this AI space or looking at companies like Gaxos.ai within the bigger picture?
Okay. Well, it means recognizing Gaxos.ai for what it is right now, described as a small, publicly traded AI company on the Nasdaq GXAI. And crucially, it's still early days for them.
Right, early stage.
So for a company like this, you typically expect to see a lot of news, right? Press releases about new products launching, maybe strategic acquisitions, raising capital to fund growth. That's just the normal rhythm.
Standard stuff for a young tech company.
Exactly. But what's important to understand from a market perspective, and the forces highlight this, is you should probably expect, well, the term used is high volatility and speculative investor interest.
Okay. What does that mean in simple terms? High volatility.
It means for small-cap AI companies like Gaxos, often still finding their footing, their stock price can swing quite a bit.
Up and down sharply.
Potentially, yeah. Often reacting strongly to every bit of news, a new product, a funding announcement. And this movement might be driven more by, let's say, speculation about the future potential of AI, rather than just their current revenue numbers.
So less about today's profits, more about tomorrow's promise.
That's often the case with these kinds of names. Now, obviously, this isn't investment advice in any way.
Of course not.
It's just describing how these types of early-stage AI companies are often seen and tend to behave in the market as they grow. It gives you context for their environment.
That definitely helps frame it. And for you listening, this journey of understanding these emerging players, it's vital, isn't it? It's not just about the tech giants anymore.
Not at all.
It's about seeing how these smaller, maybe more agile companies are trying to find their niche, how they're innovating. The clarity we've hopefully brought today on Gaxos.ai, their strategy, their different verticals, their revenue plans, that's exactly why we do these deep dives.
And if we connect it back to the bigger picture, companies like Gaxos.ai really show this ongoing push, this effort to take AI and apply it in practical ways that can generate revenue across all sorts of industries. The whole AI market is just so dynamic.
It really is.
And we're constantly seeing this move from pure research towards applied commercial products, things aiming to solve real problems or just make experiences better. And their playbook, leveraging existing big models to launch diverse apps quickly. Lots of people are watching that approach.
Absolutely. It's fascinating watching them blend those consumer apps with the developer tools and the bigger enterprise plays. Okay, so as you, the listener, think about Gaxos.ai's strategy and where they might be headed, here's something to consider. How might their specific mix, that blend of consumer stuff, developer tools, and enterprise focus, how might that actually shape AI adoption in gaming, health, and content creation down the line? What really stands out to you about their particular position in this fast-moving AI world?